All right, thank you guys. Happy Monday to you. Hopefully, you had yourselves an outstanding weekend. Now, guys, real quick, if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that the subscribe button. Please feel free to do that right now by tapping that subscribe button below. Now, guys, we got ourselves a pretty significant slate of NBA action here tonight on a Monday, so let's go ahead and begin. And we're going to start with the Hornets taking on the Sixers, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in South Philly. The Sixers are the 9.5-point favorite at home, totals 219 flat. And if you like the Hornets in an upset on the road, they're plus 425 on the money line. We're 4-0 in our last four daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And access to today's daily best play costs just $1.99. We're also 5-1 with a push in our last 7 Underdog tier package picks on that site as well. And if you want to access today's Underdog tier package play, that's only going to cost you just $4.99. Now, we currently have a community of over 700 handicappers who are signed up and active on that Patreon page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Sixers have won their last 10 straight against Charlotte, 7-3 against the spread in those contests. Philly's off to a pretty good start this season, actually a hot start. 5-1 straight up on the year, 4-2 against the number in those ball games. The Sixers are in the top 5 in the NBA in home offensive rebounding, and they find themselves allowing just 101 points a game defensively. Joel Embiid scoring 25 points a game, 13 boards and 3 assists for the center. Meanwhile, Tobias Harris is also getting 19 a night, along with a couple of steals, couple of blocks. They're taking on a Charlotte squad who's on a 2-game losing streak themselves, and they allow their opponents to shoot nearly 51% from the field when they travel. Now, total-wise, Charlotte is 6-4 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Philly. They also saw 2 out of their last 3 road games get over the line as well. I'm going to lean toward the Philadelphia 76ers minus 9.5 and the over 219. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for NBA basketball here on Monday. Once again, happy Monday to you. Hopefully you guys had a great extended weekend. And I'll tell you this much, I'm looking to get this week started off right here today with a bunch of really solid leans. And before we go ahead and dive into some more of that, I just got to quickly, remind you once again that we are a perfect 4-0 in our last 4 daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. That costs just $1.99 to access that play today. We're also 5-1 with a push in our last 7 Underdog tier package picks on that site as well. And you can unlock today's Underdog tier package play for just $4.99. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on my Patreon page, you get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. And no, you did not mishear me. When you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and what I do on my Patreon site, well, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, guys, we currently have a community of over 700 handicappers who are signed up and active on that site. They're just like you. They watched my free content. They said, hey, let me take a flyer on this guy. And I've got guys that have been signed up for a couple of years now. So if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you on the site. There's no shame in it, even if you just try it out for a month. No big deal. I'd love to have you. Link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And moving on, guys, we're going to take a look at the Cavaliers versus the Magic, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Orlando. The Magic's -5 with the total at 217.5. Now, Orlando's in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, and they hold their opponents to just 34% shooting from beyond the arc. Terrence Ross is scoring 22 points a game along with 3 rebounds a night. Meanwhile, center Nick Vucevic is also scoring 22 points a game, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists for the big man. Now they're taking on a Cleveland squad who lost 2 out of their last 3. And unfortunately, they're going to have to go to work without Love, Porter, Dellavedova, Okoro, and Windler. Now, Cleveland's in the bottom 10 in scoring, and they also shoot just 68% from the foul line. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, Cleveland's last 4 straight outings all stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, Orlando is 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Orlando Magic -5 and the under 217.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Boston versus Toronto, and that's going to be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Toronto's the 3-point favorite at home, totals 214.5. And if you like the Celtics in an upset here, they're plus $1.20 for some money line cash. Now, the Celtics have won 3 out of their last 4, and they rank in the top 5 in road defensive rebounding. Boston also shoots over 49% from the field when they travel, and they allow only 105 points a game in that same category. Jaylen Brown scoring 28 points a night, 5 rebounds, and a couple assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum's also scoring over 24 a game, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists for Tatum. Both of those players have started in all 7 of Boston's contests on the season. Just for the record, I know a lot of folks are concerned about load management. These guys are kind of Iron Men thus far in the early going here. Now, Boston's taking on a struggling Toronto squad who's just 1-4 straight up and against the spread thus far in the season. The Raps are shooting just 41% from the field, and they find themselves scoring a measly 99 points a game on their home court. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 2 out of Toronto's last 3 stayed under the posted number. 2-0 to the under on their home court. Meanwhile, the Celtics are 80% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Toronto themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Boston Celtics +3 and the under 214 and a hook. All right, next ball game. It is going to be Thunder versus Heat, 7:30 p.m. East. The Miami Heat's -8 with the total at 213 flat. Miami lost 2 out of their last 3, and they're scoring just 103 points a game. Gabe Vincent and Avery Bradley are both listed as day-to-day. The Heat's in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding, bottom 10 in shooting the 3-ball. They're taking on an OKC squad who's 2-0 against the spread when they travel this season, 2-0 straight up in those covers. The Thunder's in the top 3 in road offensive rebounding, and they're holding their opponents to a 38% field goal percentage on the road as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's scoring 19 a night, 5 rebounds and 7 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Lou Dort is also scoring 15 points a game along with 4 rebounds a night himself. Total-wise, OKC's last 2 straight both stayed under the number. 2-0 to the under officially when they travel. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, 3 out of Miami's last 4 stayed under the line themselves. So with all that said and done, we're going to go ahead and lean toward yet another underdog in this one. Give me the OKC Thunder +8, keeping this one close, and the under 213. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Knicks versus the Hawks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip. The Atlanta Hawks are -6.5 with the total at 223 and a hook. The Hawks have successfully covered the number in 2 out of their last 3, 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 as well. Atlanta's in the top 3 in the NBA in scoring, top 3 in shooting the 3-ball. Trae Young is scoring over 28 points a night, 5 rebounds and 8 assists for the second-year guard. Meanwhile, John Collins is also scoring 17 a game along with 7 boards and a couple assists. Atlanta is averaging 120 points a game, and they rank in the top 3 in offensive rebounding. Now, they're taking on a New York squad who's scoring just 97 points a game on the road. Now, the Knicks are also in the bottom 5 in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage on the road as well. Now, when it comes to the number in this one, New York's last 3 straight all stayed under the line. They're officially 3-1 to the under when they traveled this season. Meanwhile, Atlanta saw their last 2 straight stay under the number themselves, 4-2 to the under through 6 ball games. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the Atlanta Hawks -6.5 and the under 223 and a hook. All right, next contest, it is going to be Pistons versus the Bucks. And that's going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks are -14, totals 228 flat. Now, Milwaukee leads the association in scoring and three-point percentage. Giannis Antetokounmpo is scoring 24 points a game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists for the Greek Freak. Giannis is also averaging 31 minutes a night, along with 2 steals. Chris Middleton's also scoring over 21 points a game, 6 boards and 6 assists for the forward. Milwaukee's 2-0 against the spread on their home court. Top 5 in the league in, I don't know why I say league. I got to stop saying that in reference to the NBA. I know you know what I mean, but it's just a pet peeve of mine. Once again, top 5 in defensive rebounding are the Bucks. Now they're taking on a Detroit squad who's just 1-5 straight up on the season, and they give up 120 points a game when they travel. Griffin and Jackson are still listed as questionable for tonight's action. The Pistons have lost their last 10 meetings with Milwaukee, and they failed to cover the number in every one of those games. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, 3 out of Detroit's last 5 games did get over the posted number. Meanwhile, the Bucks on the other side are 4-2 to the over on the season, 10-0 to the over in their last 10 games with Detroit. Pretty chalky lean here. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Bucks -14 and the over 228. All right, next contest should be a good one. I'm talking about the Pacers versus the Pelicans. 8 p.m. Eastern start time at the Smoothie King. The Pels are the 1.5-point favorite on their home court. Totals 218.5. And if you like the Pacers on the money line, they're catching even money to win this one straight up. The Pacers are scoring over 114 points a game and shooting nearly 50% from the field. Malcolm Brogdon is scoring over 22 points a night, 4 boards and 6 assists, along with a couple of steals a game for the point guard. Meanwhile, Domantas Sabonis he's scoring 21 points a night, 11 rebounds and 7 assists for the power forward. The Pacers are in the top 10 in defensive rebounding, and they allow just 106 points a night. Now they're taking on a Pels team who failed to cover the number in 3 out of their last 5. The Pelicans are also scoring just 104 points a game, and they're connecting on just 68% of their free throws. Now Gabriel's out for New Orleans, Thornwell and Melly are questionable, and when it comes to the total, New Orleans is 5-1 to the under thus far in the season. Pacers 3-1 to the under in their last 4. I'm going to lean toward yet another underdog in this one. This is a slight dog here. Give me the underdog Indiana Pacers +1.5 and the under 218 and a hook. All right, next contest, it is going to be Mavs Rockets, 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Houston. Now, the Mavs are the 1-point favorite in Houston. Totals 231 and a hook. Now, Harden is questionable with an ankle for the Rockets. Jones, Martin, McLemore, and Clemens are out. Having said that, though, the Rockets are still 2-0 straight up at home this season. Just 106 points per contest they gave up on average in those games. John Wall scoring 25 a game, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists for the veteran. Wall's also getting 2 steals and a couple of blocks a night. And of course, Christian Wood is also scoring 24 points a game, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists for the forward. Now they're taking on a Dallas Mavericks team who most likely have to go without Luka Doncic again this evening, still battling a nagging quad injury. I thought for sure he was going to see significant action yesterday, but apparently that leg is in pretty bad shape right now. But anyway, the Mavericks are scoring just 106 points a game, even with him playing, and they rank in the bottom 5 in the NBA in offensive rebounding. Now, the Mavs have also lost 3 of 4 on the road this season, and when it comes to the number in this one, 3 out of Dallas's last 4 ball games stayed under the line. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Houston. I'm going to lean toward yet another slight underdog in this one. Give me the Houston Rockets +1 and the under 231.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Kings versus the Warriors, 10 p.m. Eastern start time in the Bay. The Sacramento Kings are the 2-point favorite on the road. Totals 232 flat. And if you like Golden State at a slight upset, they're plus $1.15 for some money line cash. And despite their victory last night, the Warriors are still last in offensive field goal percentage and last in shooting the three ball. The Warriors are also giving up 124 points per contest, and they rank in the bottom 3 in defensive rebounding. Now they're taking on a Sacramento squad who successfully covered the point spread in 2 out of their last 3. The Kings are in the top 10 in the NBA in defensive rebounding, top 5 in defending the three ball. De'Aaron Fox is scoring 21 points a game, 3 boards and 6 assists for the point guard. Fox is also averaging multiple steals a night as well. Meanwhile, Buddy Hield is also scoring 17 points a game, 4 boards and 3 assists for Buddy. When it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of Sacramento's last 5 stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, Golden State saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the line themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Sacramento Kings -2 in the under 232. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are a perfect 4-0 in our last 4 daily best plays on that website. The daily best play costs just $1.99. And as far as our free plays go here on YouTube, I like the Sixers -9.5 over 219. I'm also leaning toward Orlando -5 under 217 and a hook. I like the Celtics +3 under 214.5. I also like the OKC Thunder +8 under 213. I'm leaning toward the Atlanta Hawks -6.5 under 223 and a hook. I also like the Bucks -14 over 228. I'm leaning toward the Pacers +1.5 under 218 and a hook. I also like the Rockets +1 under 231.5. And last but certainly not least, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it. And please subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. Give me the Sacramento Kings -2 and the under 232 in that game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout out to Oren McLaughlin, Crack Boston, Sean Nash, the Dingman C. Let's try that again. The Dingman C. Dinger. Sorry about that. Shout out to Chance Sheffield, Bertrand Tech Montreal, Straight to the Point, Bo Dunn, Proline Master. And last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Mike Rose. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.